Welcome back. New titles. I wanted to do something a bit different from the old staticky screen, and a new name. Right, because of the way YouTube works these days, the Luxuries Outdated design didn't really seem to make any sense anymore. I tend to usually call the games Let's Get something. I'm going to stick with Let's Get Retro for a while. So yeah, Let's Get Retro. Let's get bloody. Let's look at blood. This is a pretty cool first-person shooter. Well, it's a first-person poker right now, but a first-person shooter from 1997. It's kind of the brother or sister game to a sibling, anyway, to Duke Nukem 3D. It uses the build engine. It was originally made by 3D Realms, I think, who decided because they had two games on the go, they had this and actually three. They'd the nice little kind of add-on packs for Duke Nukem. I think it was the Atomic Pack, and they had Shadow Warrior, which is a game I'm going to look at in another episode. They basically sold this onto a company called Monolith, who've done many cool games since. The guys did Fear. Yeah, anyway, Monolith basically took this and kind of ran with it, and it's a really cool little game. It's basically a horror. If Duke Nukem is sort of a kind of piss take on a kind of 80s actioners, and a Shadow Warrior is a piss take on kind of martial arts films and you know, very kind of bad Hong Kong movies, then this is basically a homage, shall we say, to kind of really crappy 70s and 80s, you know, horror movies and slasher movies. It's incredibly, well, for the time it was incredibly gory, but it's so tongue-in-cheek and completely stupid. It's great. I'm just chucking some. You can do some cool things. Look at my flare gun there.
For business.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. It's I'll get to the story in a minute. But you are a cowboy, undead gunslinger guy called Caleb, who just comes out with these just bizarre one-liners. Most of them are ripped off horror movies and things. There's a lot of Evil Dead stuff. I mean, he starts off with the whole "I live again" when he jumps out of the grave at the start. And it's just, yeah, you're gonna hear it as we go along. I'm not going to be talking over it, so sorry about that. Yeah, these are cultists. The plot was bizarre. You were in some sort of cult. Basically, this evil demonic god thing called Turnabog or Cernabog. You're one of his followers, and he decided to punish you and the other four top-ranking guys for. They never actually explain why. It's not really much of a plot. Anyway, for no apparent reason, you come back from the dead and wreak bloody vengeance against the various cabal members that are floating around. These guys are just around going bada bada. They are cultists, and they'll, you know, fire at you with various different weapons. These are just props. Ugh, squishy. The zombies as well. The zombies actually are pretty cool. They're sort of pickled looking instead of the usual, you know, limbs falling off. They look very sort of robust. Oh, does not want to go down. Now, you might notice a slight jump there at a very minor PC hiccup sorted out, and I was just able to get back to the same point. So they're the zombies. There's tons. Oh, that's it. They get back up. It takes a couple of goes to kill them. I think he's probably dead. There's an absolute ton of secrets in this game. Everything. It's one of those. It's one of those things you don't get as much anymore. But it's just anywhere you go. If anything looks like it can be destroyed or switched or turned on or pressed or poked or set on fire, then do, because you'll usually get a nice little bonus for it. There's an absolute ton of secret areas, and there's lots of you can do lots of messing around with the scenery and destroying things. The soundtrack is just bizarre. When I originally played this, I had the shareware version.
That's all, folks.
So it was just using kind of MIDI music. This is the version that's on Good Old Games, GOG.com. It's the one whole unit version, so it's basically the original Blood game plus some expansions. I think it's like $5 or something. It's well worth a look. Oh, there's the review ruined now. Yeah. All these little buggers. Basically, rats come at you, and they are quite painful. Let's jump at the fire and see what happens. Right, you gotta. I don't know if you noticed there, my health has jumped to 182. There's a nice little add-on, a health add-on there. I can't remember if there's anything in these barrels. I just like poking them. Ew, yucky. Yeah, so it's completely tongue-in-cheek. Usually, you know, anywhere you go, there'll be like shout-outs to various horror films and sci-fi movies and that. Oh, it's the crypt that I came out of. I don't think it actually recorded the start there. Bugger! I just ran into my own explosion. So that's actually pretty cool. That's where we started off there. At the very start, I think I kind of blasted through it, but there's a little kind of side area you go into, which is basically the grave of the guy from The Crow. Well, not the character, not Bruce Lee's son. But anyway, but it's everything like there's tons of throwaway little kind of nods and winks and gestures and whatever to horror movies. If it had come out a bit later, I'm sure there'd be lots of Shaun the Dead stuff in it, but this is as I said, from 1997, so it missed out on that by about a year or two. That's what you get for finishing. So like every level is very imaginative. Like that first level is the crematorium. The second one is excuse me, in this kind of train area, or train station area, and you know a railway yard. Later levels are on a moving train and underground passages and things, like on boats. It's really cool. I remember actually that there's lots of movable areas, and oh, I better not poke that. There's lots of kind of things where walls move and you know, passages move and things like that. That when I played this originally, it was an old. It wasn't even a Pentium. It was a Cyrex 5X86, which was supposed to be like a Pentium. But
fresh victims for the ever-growing army of the undead.
Yes. But it was fast enough most of the time, but occasionally it slowed down, and there was one point where you had to kind of get through a moving passage, and it would always grind to a halt on that. So I couldn't, back in the days, I could never actually get past that. And then it was a bugger to get working for a while under DOSBox. So eventually, like I said, I managed to nab a copy of this. Well, no, in the meantime, I spent a hell of a lot of time playing Blood 2. The Chosen, which is a kind of more... The graphics are kind of more Quake era. Maybe actually more Unreal Tournament era, I forget which. But it's a great game. It's a great game with a ton of really kind of black humour in it. But anyway, anyway, last year I nabbed this off GOG.com, and I kept meaning to stick it up on the channel and show you what it looks like. I think, can I punt up? Yeah, you can kick the heads. That's exactly what you want in the games. You don't get that in Call of Duty. Well, probably not. I mean, this is thing. I mean, you know, these days first-person shooters, these totally fucking po-faced, you know, deadly serious, squad-based shooters. You know, a lot of the time, right? Like, you know, you need stuff like this. Just, you know, I know there's like the Serious Sam games. There was that one up. Bloody hell, the name will come to me later on. But there was 1 or 2 games out last year. Was it Bloodstorm, or was that the made-up game in the Simpsons? Or was it, no, it's Bone Storm. Anyway, I'm babbling. Yeah. Anyway, games, make them more funny. Yeah, it's not really much of a puzzle, but I'm supposed to. Oh, there's a guy up there. If I remember rightly, it has a couple of digs at like there's a couple of there's a couple of digs at Doom and a couple of digs at Unreal. There's actually at one point he finds kind of a mangled corpse of Duke Nukem, and he starts he says something like "Hail to the King, baby" or something. I can't remember what, or "Shake it, baby." I can't remember. It was one of the Duke Nukem little turn of phrases. But yeah, it's like I said, it's very tongue-in-cheek. Oh, what the hell? Oh, he's got an axe. He's got an axe. Look, they don't just want brains; they want more brains. I love the flare gun, but the only thing is you fire it at them, and you have to get out of the way pretty quickly because they will just, you know, take you with them. Nope, missed him. Aha. I've a lot of time for the build games. I mean, generally, if you're talking about build games, you're talking about Duke Nukem, Blood, and Shadow Warrior. Duke Nukem was good. I mean, like I said, the Doom games or not Doom so much as the Quake games kind of took themselves very seriously a lot of the time. Well, except for when they were rocket jumping with lightning guns. But the Duke games and the Blood games are so totally over the top that, you know, you just really couldn't take them seriously. All these little poor stooge guys wander around, and all they do is get in your way, and they tend to have the same colour. They look a little bit like the zombies from a distance. Occasionally the zombies drop. Yeah, okay. Yeah, they'll drop health occasionally.
Place like home.
Look, they just get in the way anyway.
Take it, please.
Ah, yes. There's a ton of Lovecraftian kind of little jokes, and like I said, if it's in any way a culty horror thing, it's probably in here. Oh, and it was out before like 1997. It's probably in here. There's also, and I'm kind of conserving my ammo here a bit, but there's also alt fires for nearly everything. There's one for that flare gun that basically fires 6 flares at once.
Hello, may I speak to Mr. Josh? First name Hugh.
Yeah, the jokes are terrible. But I'm just saying, you don't get that in Medal of Honor. Well, you it's actually you probably do get that kind of crap joke on the voice chat for it. Anyway, there's a flare gun up there, but I'm not quite tall enough to get it. The only thing, from playing this game again is there's an awful lot of jumping. There's way too much jumping for a first-person shooter, especially when you can't see your feet. It's kind of. Is he saying Wayne? He should be saying brains. One of these has to be a secret bookcase. Oh, the cash register. Yep, there we go. Does that picture change? Yeah. I'm not gonna go back. Okay, I'm gonna stop in a second and we're going to have a look at a different level. I can't remember the way out of this. Enjoy the Mario lads. I'll come back in a second.
I like my hands bloody.
Knows somebody sometime.
I should have kept doing commentary for that, because that jukebox is just there. What the hell was that about? Yes, this is the this is episode 5. Games back then tend to split their groups of levels into episodes. Usually episode 1 was your share one and so forth. This is the Plasma Pack one. This is the bit that came with one of the expansions, and it's all been put into the same game now. But this is the post-mortem set of levels. Oh, it's Kmart. Right, shop smart. What is going on with that soundtrack? Like I said, when I had this originally, I had the big yucky fat guy. I bet he's gonna puke in your blow uppers. Oh yeah, there you go. Someone with a dodgy stomach, I can relate to that guy. So I'm not that fat. Yeah, anyway. What was I say? Yeah, that's a shoot guy in the head. Yeah, the soundtrack is, as I said, when I played this originally, I was just using the MIDI soundtrack. And here the CD soundtrack is so weird. As I said, this level's based on, well, very loosely. I think the
Good, bad. I'm the guy with a gun.
it's kind of based very loosely on the Kmart shop or the Kmart from the Evil Dead movies. There's other stuff. There's stuff based on the Overlook from The Shining. There's Phantom of the Opera one. There's a carnival level. There's all sorts. I mean, like I said, the levels are just really imaginative. Like, even though it's mid-90s first-person shooter, so everything looks like it's made of cardboard boxes. There's just so much clever little things that got into it. There's tons of secrets. Or we should go back to that cash register. Bet you it does something. Ah, there we go. Gave them both barrels. I always say I must go back and look. Oh, it's a hand. And a hand. Is it cousin ish? No, it's the thing. The thing, that's it. I always say I always go back to have a look at whatever. I must go back and have a look at the Shadow Warrior games. Like I said, I preferred the Blood games myself, but and Duke was good to a certain extent, but not so much the remake. Oh, I shot him in the head. Oh yeah, there was a multiplayer. It was pretty basic, but it well, it was kind of Doom level multiplayer. So I didn't play much of it myself. I usually just did this as a single player game, but yeah, well, I tried to be smart. I know I saw. Oh, the airlifted one, them in. Oh, bugger. Melty. Oh, that's got to be a secret. And it is. Only basic armor. Oh, there's a lot of zombies in there. I mean, this is from the complete polar opposite to the Walking Dead games. If they're kind of, kind of fairly emotional things, these are just literally, let's go around and poke zombies with a stick. I think, and I could be wrong, the three coloured indicators there, the 50, 78 and, excuse me, 110, are different shields. One of them is fire, the other one is, I can't remember what it is, but you can, again, similar to Duke, you can pick up items and use them. There's a doctor's bag there that I really should get to use at some point. Oh, back here again. Oh, bugger, that's not good. He's got a flare for a nose. Like I said, given the age of the game, there's a lot of there's a lot of thought gone into it. I mean, it's not just, you know, twisty Space Marine corridors. And like I said, I can't think offhand of any other. I mean, well, there was the Evil Dead games on the PlayStation, but I can't think of any other game which is sort of, you know, in recent times, which is a kind of horror-based game, but it is just so, you know, takes itself, you know, doesn't bother take itself like seriously.
I need a key.
Oh, this is not going to end well. Oh, get away from me before you blow up. Oh, I thought there was a weapon on top of the door. It's just some, you know, some jibs that are left that have bounced up there. Okay, for the life of me, I cannot remember where that last door is, so I think I'll just jump up and down for a bit. But look, anyway, that was a look at Blood. I'm going to have a look at Blood 2. Well, obviously I'll have a look at it and I never do, but I'm going to try and have a look at Blood 2, The Chosen. Blood 2, The Bloodening. Blood 2, The Chosen at some point in the near future, because again, it's a good little game. But yeah, there you go, there's Blood. Go to GOG.com, goodoldgames.com. Keep an eye out, they've always got different offers on, and I feel like this is an ad for them. But yeah, this is where I picked this up. You can pick this and its sequel up there as well, nice and cheap. And I think a Shadow Warrior up there now as well, so it's worth picking up. Anyway, I shall leave you with me running randomly around the Kmart and walking into things. And see you next time. Thanks for watching.